And speaking of Fost, what do you make of it? I saw some riders take to social media on how Fost it was, and not saying like they're not
Yeah, it
saying they
was.
would have done better if it was raining because they did bad in Poland as well. Reese, I mean, he put out on his stories and
I was going to say you
he
read
made a
recent.
good
Yeah,
and I understand the comment, and then he took the piss of himself straight afterwards in a good way. But I understand
yeah,
what he's saying. Like that track is averaging at 47k an hour or something. And you mentioned in our private
in
text, like the guys are crashing in like, let's say, mundane sections, which you would argue are simple. They're not the features. No, they're like
they're
link
the linking sections.
because they're
Yeah,
having the average track speed is so fast. And they're having to push. The dirt's obviously super soft, but we are seeing more crashes, a little bit more injuries. I guess you will. That's a nature and a byproduct of a
speed.
track
Yeah,
that fast that maybe you need to slow it down if it's going to
I
be
think
dry
that.
all weekend. Just a question. What do you
Yeah,
think? Like, what's happening in the pits? Are people saying that?
yeah. There's definitely a concern, and that's not just this track. Kind of throughout the year, they definitely. And as far as I was aware of, there were recommendations that they do tape the track to slow it down in a few spots, but that um, didn't seem like it was taken on board for whatever reason. And sadly, I mean, it's a bit double-edged sword because for us, you end up with fairly good, exciting racing because you seeing a bit of crashing, you're seeing like people pushing hard and tight margins and stuff. But like Reese does have a point, it can also be exciting when you have a more technically challenging track and you're putting a bit more skill versus just I won't say luck or balls, but excuse my French, but yeah. So, but then it's quite hard to talk badly on any of the racing that we witnessed this week because it was like a super exciting race. So,
No, I'm
but
definitely not
then
talking bad. I
it's a
think,
kind of a safety. Yeah, it's
yeah,
a safety. Yeah, I would say yeah, it's a safety concern because the speeds, it was already a high speed track in the wet, and it's like super high speed now. It's not like Leergang's high speed sections are super safe and you're on a motorway and stuff, but like this was yeah, it was pretty crazy, and like we spoke about the features versus the linking stuff. You had to like ride that, like if you were riding a down on a normal like lap, you would never ride the track like you had to race it because they would create just getting every ounce of speed. So where you would like normally like pre-hop in and then go to the catch. Now they're not. They're just like diagonaling and cutting line and pushing their bars like that. Especially that there was two sections where they really crashed. That one after the steep shoot where they like did that slight left before the rock and the turns, there was like the track had just blown up and the back wheels are stepping off, and somehow Bodie saved his back wheel from going over the edge there. And then the further down one, there was this, you had an angle between two trees, and the elites were like hopping the gap and then just
oh,
nose bonking,
that
and then nose,
section was
and you
brutally
are
fast
coming
and
into,
sketchy. Yeah, yeah.
and they're skipping the catch boom and they're loading all the G force, but it's all on the front wheel on or off camber, and you're trying to push away from those poles. And that was one of the most craziest things I've ever seen is Nathan Ponviel, his like it was a matrix maneuver, and it was happened so quick, but we saw it in slow motion on the replay, and it almost seems like that's how he processed it. I think he is so good and aware with cat-like reflexes. He did it in slow motion. It looked like he had all the time in the world. He's like, oh, I'm about to go out the course. Even though I'm going out the course, I'm going to make sure my bike doesn't. And he somehow did this little like shifty, got the front wheel over, and he's looked like his bike just twisted through the time space continuum, but around the pole, and then he was in. I was like, he's in.